Hi everyone, Coach Alexa here. Had a great question come in from a runner that I work with last week around how, as a running coach, I can plan in other sports into her training. So she is a keen cyclist as well as a runner, and her goals for the time being are running specific, but longer term she has some cycling goals for later on in next year. And we were talking a little bit about, as we discussed how I was going to formulate her training plan, how that would work. So I thought it'd be useful to put a video together to just explain a little bit about this. So as a running coach, I am qualified and trained by UK Athletics, but also fairly importantly insured to be able to plan out people's running training. So that is putting a whole kind of structured, planned out approach for them, a training plan, individual session plans are all something that I can do. I also have qualifications around strength and conditioning, and I also have qualifications from the UK Mountain Training Association that allow me to work with people who walk, hike, want to learn how to navigate, etc. I personally don't have qualifications that specifically relate to cycling. So for her, we talked about this, the fact that I can help her with the running element of her training. What I can also do is put in her training plan, we do maybe a short bike ride here, and a long bike ride here in your week. And this is maybe how to balance it across your training week with the specific running sessions and that I'm going to set you, and maybe other things to do like strength and conditioning. But what I can't do is put together specific cycle-based sessions and a planned approach for the cycling training because I'm not a cycling coach. I often work with people who enjoy lots of different sports, and it's important to say that I think enjoying lots of different sports is great for our overall health, fitness and well-being. So we become, I think, a more well-rounded, fitter person if we don't dabble in different sports and activities, and it's fun as well. So I'm often putting training plans together for people who play five-a-side football, rugby, hockey, ultimate frisbee, who really enjoy working out with their PT quite hard in the gym 3 times a week, for example, or doing classes or spinning. So I'm always happy to include these other elements and how they fit into your training week. I just can't tell you specifically exactly what to do for this other sport in that session. But usually, particularly if you're playing a team sport, you've got a training session with a team or a coach that's already there telling you what to do, or you're playing a match, for example, or you're going to a gym class where you're under the instruction of another sports professional. I do train a couple of triathletes at the moment, for example, and I can't give them swim sessions or bike sessions, and for both of them, in fact, they are pretty strong on their swim and their bike sections of the triathlon already. One of them trains with a triathlon club and they do the swim sessions there. And they've come to me because it's the run element of their triathlon that they really want to work on. So I've taken their overall triathlon training routine, where they might have cycle and swim sessions throughout the week. Those are in that plan, just as cycle or swim. And around that, and bearing those sessions in mind, I write the run sessions around that to complement things, to help improve the run element of their triathlon. If you wanted an overall triathlon specific training plan that covered all 3 elements, talking to a triathlon coach would be great. It's just a kind of, I guess, an important distinction to make, that I can't write session plans and plan out your training for a sport that I don't have those qualifications and experience in. So if, for example, I have a friend of mine who has a place at both the London Marathon and the Ride London 100 cycling event next year. I mean, the odds of getting into the balance of both of those really, really popular events, quite small. She's super lucky. But I would be able to help her with that marathon training. I would not be able to help her with the preparation for the Ride London 100 because I'm not a cycling coach. But you can always look out and find people that have those 2 qualifications and that can put something together for you. Perhaps a triathlon coach might be able to help as well. Or if you're happy to follow an off-the-shelf plan for your cycle training, then I can work alongside that and integrate a specific holistic running training program that works alongside. But as I say, I'm always happy to help runners who also do other sports. I think it's a really positive way of improving our overall fitness, and so many of them have great crossover into our running as well. The cardiovascular strength that you build with cycling is hugely useful for running. Football is a great way of getting really short, sharp, quick recovery time running into our program. In fact, as a little segue, so a lot of team sports, football, hockey, for example, sports that involve running, I do need to kind of know about and bear in mind when I'm putting people's training plans together, because they all add up for that overall impact loading. And that's a big, important part of the equation when I'm training people, because running is a high impact sport. And so that's one of the most important parameters that I try and manage overall as people's training plans progress. So I hope that's useful. And even if you do other sports, I'm always happy to help with a training plan for your running aspects of fitness where I can.